we have been keeping our eye on our potatoes because they're getting really close to harvest. We were actually going to harvest them the other day, and then there was a surprise rainstorm. We got like an inch of rain that was not forecasted, so we weren't able to do it the other day. We've been keeping an eye on them for when they're dried out. Well, we were having supper and Dwayne called and said that, hey, there's a chance of rain. You might want to check on the potatoes. So now we're finished eating and I am going to come out to the potatoes and take a look because it does look like there could be some rain moving in. I'm going to see what they look like. You can see the clouds behind me here. It does look like we might be getting some weather moving through. They're just calling for scattered thunderstorms and showers, so I don't know if we're actually going to get anything, but if we do, it is not going to be good for these potatoes to stay sitting in the cold, damp dirt. And there's a potato right there, right on top. The soil is still fairly damp, but it's not completely sopping wet, and I can kind of brush the dirt off. So I don't think that it would be a terrible thing to harvest them tonight because it is dry enough that the dirt kind of crumbles off of it. It's not like really wet and heavy and caked to the potatoes, and they still look good. We're supposed to wake up to cooler temperatures. So I know once it cools off, it's going to take even longer for the bed to dry out. So we're either going to go ahead and harvest them tonight, or we are going to cover them with a tarp and make sure that they do not get rained on. Okay, we are running out of time. The wind is picking up. We are tarping the bed for the night, and we're gonna try to harvest them tomorrow. So I'm gonna cover these back up that I had uncovered. And then I ran and got one of our plastic tarps and some logs from the firewood pile because it is getting windy. So I am just gonna cover this up real quick, and then we don't have to rush to get it done, and all the kids will be able to help us harvest potatoes tomorrow. Should work for tonight. It's not perfect, but it's good enough, and it's actually just starting to sprinkle, so I finished up just in time. We will see you tomorrow. Welcome back. We are ready to harvest our potatoes today. I've got them uncovered. We are getting ready to move this bunk out. I think what we're gonna do is hook it up to the tractor and pull it over. See our compost pile behind me? We're gonna pull it over closer to that so that when we dump it over, that dirt is right where we want it to be, and it's gonna be easier to scoop up out of the way. So we're going to get started here and show you guys how these feed bunks make harvesting potatoes so much easier. Well, we got our potatoes dug up, and as you can see, that did not take long at all. Having them in those plastic feed bunks, it's so fast, it's so easy, and you saw as soon as we dumped it over, you could already see the potatoes. There was very little strenuous digging involved. So I brought them up to the house and got them weighed, and we got somewhere around 15 pounds of potatoes. So that's not terrible. Now, we do have a large family, so we would love to have even more than that. And we're already planning on next year planting quite a bit more potatoes than we did this year, but we're really happy with the harvest that we got. Now, the next thing that we need to do to get these ready is to cure them. So much like I did in the garlic video, I'm gonna use that same screen, and we are going to lay them out and let them cure and dry. One thing that is very important when you're working with potatoes is that you keep them out of the sun. If the sun gets on them, they're going to start turning green, which is a sign that the solanine in the potatoes is increasing, and then they can actually become mildly poisonous. So you don't ever eat green potatoes. We want to lay these out to cure in a cool, dark place, absolutely no light. So I'm just gonna lay these out and show you guys how we do this, and then of course we're gonna take them inside to our basement to a good spot to cure until these skins toughen up. Do you see? Okay, this potato is that nice golden color. This end is green. This is the part that has that concentrated amount of the solanine in the potato, and you do not want to eat this. So I'm gonna break it off and then leave this potato to cure right here. So right now, the skin on this potato is extremely thin and extremely delicate. It just peels off like tissue paper. And we want to make sure that this is curing and that skin is hardening up, toughening up just a little bit to protect that potato while it's in storage. And then we're gonna have potatoes to eat for a while. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I was really excited for you all to see how we grow our potatoes in these feed bunks, so that you could see how easy it makes it to harvest. Remember, there is not just one way to do something. There are so many different ways to do anything on a homestead, whether you're growing potatoes or having a garden or raising livestock. You just have to experiment a little bit and find out what works for you. And this is just what has worked for us. So thank you so much for joining us today as we harvest our potatoes. Please make sure to like and share the video and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this from the homestead.